I have chosen Do the Right Thing, a 1989 film. The concept I am going to talk about is intercultural communication, which, according to our textbook, refers to communication between persons who have different cultural beliefs, values, or ways of behaving. Um, where I take from that is it's a form of communication between different ethnical groups. The same way, not everyone prefers to others in society the same way as well. Um, in the film Do the Right Thing, there are several different places you can take out of the film where the communication is throwing off at this ethnical race or that ethnical race. Um, and it's in one scene, a gentleman has bought an apartment building on the wrong side of the street, and they're harassing him for it due to his rural background. So the communication between the two is not very sensible. It is a little harsh in words and speaking. The clip I'm going to use is a clip about 48 minutes into the film. It zooms in on different people from the community, a police officer including, and it shows how some different cultures communicate and their language and what they prefer to other people as. For instance, like race. It literally takes, say, an African American towards a Caucasian, English, white person. It literally describes how they would talk about them using slang words, harsh words, different things of that nature. That is what I'm going to use for my communication of intercultural communication as an example. And then I will show you the clip and I'll elaborate on it a little more from there.
Bullshit Reverend Sun Young Moon, some Olympic 88 Korean kickboxing samurai bitch. You could have been eating 15 in a car, 30 in an apartment, pointy shoes, red wagon, the little meter Puerto Rican cocksucker. Yeah, you. Shit, I got good nice for you. And touch it. How am you? Chocolate able cream drinking. Mango and love. And anybody's Jew asshole. Yo! How about that?
Sorry if some of the language is a little rough there. It, in my opinion, it shows how different cultures, especially back in the 80s, how, and even beforehand, how the communication was between one type of person to another type of person in cultural aspects. Not everyone does, of course, talk like this towards one another, but as I began to do my presentation and type it up, I did begin to think of the events that have happened here recently within the past week. Like the Charlie Kirk scene, for instance. I don't really know much about him before all this expired a week ago, but from what I have taken from it, he was asked different things by different people as he was doing rallies. He did give his cultural perspective, his beliefs on things, and in return, it did cause, as a result of people not agreeing with him nor liking his stance on things, he was shot. Today, for instance, it is Sunday the 21st. They are doing a big memorial type thing slash debate about the way he believed. But what I take from this situation and the film in general is no matter our intercultural communication, our backgrounds, our beliefs, what I have per se as a mother, I don't agree with what has happened. I don't think that we should communicate with people according to their backgrounds or talk to them a certain way. Excuse me. I do have two teenagers, and my husband and I have raised them to treat everyone equal. No one is beneath you or above you due to race. When you speak with someone, you talk to them as the way you would want to be treated. Um, with that being said, communication is a big part of our society. We have to communicate with anyone from a basic communication in the grocery store, getting gas, working. Our everyday lives is based on communicating with people. And we should not communicate with people based on their culture, their backgrounds, their race, their role in society. Everyone should be created equal. My takeaway from this film is, and especially this scene here, is if you live on the wrong side of the street, if you live in the wrong neighborhood, you buy a place not realizing, oh, I'm on that side of the block. It become a cultural, racial, big ordeal. You should be able to live next to someone or anywhere you like just because that's where you want to live. You should not be communicated with according to your race, according to your cultural beliefs in that matter. This film does show a broad spectrum of a lot of different aspects in our book and our text that we have been reading so far, but I chose the communication aspect of interculturalism just because I could pull these 20 seconds out of the film and show just how our society used to be and how they would think about people. In the instance, say if you were in the hood, this is how they would talk about people. Well, now as a society, it kind of seems that we are kind of venturing back to that aspect. If you don't believe the same way as someone, you don't talk like them, your gender's not like theirs, you're going to talk about them in a certain way, and it could eventually cause harm to you. So, right now, there is, and it's happened a week ago, but in general, there are mothers, fathers, sons, daughters that do not have a wife, do not have a husband, do not have a parent anymore due to our intercultural communication between one another and the way we have addressed people. And it in return constitutes into a violent situation. And this film shows it in more ways than one. So thank you for your time and have a great day.